Yeah, hello?
Hi, Ebony. This is Christy from Client Solutions. How are you?
Hi, Christy. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little hectic, but so happy it's Friday.
I know, literally TGIF.
Yeah, so listen, I just wanted to call you to let you know that we appreciate you going on 4 interviews for the data analyst role. Unfortunately, we did decide to move on to other candidates that were more suitable for this role, but just wanted to let you know that you were one of our top choices, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, I do have one question for you. What time am I clocking in on Monday?
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Did you hear me?
Will you be giving me a badge or do I gotta punch in?
Ebony, I'm a little confused. You didn't get the job.
Okay, so 9 a.m.?
Ebony, we're not picking
Actually,
you.
no. 9:30 is a little bit better because I like to come in late. Is that okay?
Ebony, no, denied. You're denied.
What's the dress code again?
Ebony, listen.
Business casual?
Ebony, I know this is hard to accept.
Okay, and also I prefer to take 2-hour lunches and leave a little bit earlier. Is that cool with you?
I mean, you can take all the lunches in the world, but
Unfortunately, I would not be accepted at Response. You made me go through 4 job interviews, so this job is automatically mine. I will see you on Monday.
Ebony.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Do you guys remember that company that I went through 7 interviews for? Well, they just emailed me back saying they're going to move forward with my application. Isn't that great? 7 interviews and they decided to just not. That's fucking ridiculous! I don't know if I should be mad or sad or both, but it sucks.
Okay, I have a little HR secret that they do not want you to know. But if you have to go to more than 3 to 4 interviews for a job, don't take the job. Run now while you can, because that usually means that they don't have an organized structure for a hiring process. And 9 times out of 10, your onboarding process is just going to be just as long, unorganized, and unproductive. A lot of people come to me, they're like, oh, well, I did this interview with this person, then I did an interview with that person, then I'm going to go to the board, the VP, and then I'm meeting the committee, and then I'm meeting, the executive's daughter and taking her out to lunch. I'm sorry, if you have to do more than 3 interviews with different people, and they are not within a week time frame, if it's longer than a week in between these interviews, it's mostly because they have an unorganized hiring process. And that is a good example or a good sign that the job itself will be unorganized and unstructured. Now, that's not going to say, hey, it's not possible, but most times, if you have to do an interview process that takes longer than a few months and you do more than 3 to 4 interviews, it's a red flag to me. It's a no for me, dog. I've seen it. It just means they're unorganized and it's unstructured. Why would you want to be at a job where they don't communicate effectively from department to department and they don't have an effective hiring process? Don't take that job. They don't want me to tell y'all this, but I said it. Now, well, who gonna whip me? Oh, all right, that's what I thought.
Yep. This right here, another soapbox, another bone I want to pick. This is the reason why I, again, come from the era of it usually only takes 2 interviews to figure out whether or not a candidate is going to be a good fit or not. And as a career and leadership coach, I get so protective of my clients and women like you who invest their time, their energy, going through all of these rounds of interviews just to be told that, sorry, we went with another candidate. What? Now, your question of why would they put candidates through this? I can't speak on behalf of organizations, nor do I want to. But here's what I'll say. My best guess is that they feel like they're vetting out all of their candidates in their best practice due diligence. Of course, I want to give you some tips and tricks to think about and consider if you are asked to go into another 3rd+ round of interviews. First thing first, just like you protect boundaries from toxic family members and, toxic coworkers and leaders, right? Think about the boundaries that you want to set with your job search. For example, are you willing to entertain 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of interviews for a position? As a candidate, a lot of the times you are falsely mistaken to believe that you are at the mercy, at the will of employers. But really, you are the one that's empowered. Another example boils down to those homework assignments, those projects, those tasks that companies are gravitating more towards? Are you willing to do, air quote, free work for them to prove that you are the right candidate? Now, as you're continuing to simmer on these questions, it really gets to the root of how much do you like this company and how much do you like this position? If you are like, yeah, this is my dream role, this is my dream company, then maybe it is going to be worth it for you to go through 3+ rounds of interviews. But if you're just lukewarm about it, honey, take some time and truly think about, is it worth your time and energy to go through this many rounds of interviews? Because your time is precious. Your time is money too. At the end of the day, you get to say yes, you get to say no to the things that you want to entertain.
Just got off yet another rejection phone call with another company that I've done multiple rounds of interviews with. And I'm not necessarily discouraged, but just keep hearing the same thing over and over again, which is, we loved getting to know you. We think you are brilliant and skilled and qualified, but we went with someone whose strengths aligns more with the job description. But we want to keep this line of communication open in case our team grows and we have a need for someone like you and with your skills and strengths. I think I've heard it now 4 or 5 times from 4-5 different companies in different industries, and I've just heard it too many times for it to be a coincidence. So I'm trying to rack my brain, what am I doing wrong in these interviews? Am I not showcasing my strengths and the job description's requirements in an accurate manner, or am I just going for roles that I'm not qualified for? Hearing the same feedback 4 or 5 times now is beyond a coincidence. So what is God trying to tell me in this moment? It's my sign to go back to school, which is something I've been contemplating a lot recently. But anyway, I just wanted to rant and maybe document this so that I can one day later down the line write a testimony about this. Who knows?
How many interviews should you have as part of an interview process? Let's talk about it. This is probably one of the most nuanced questions I get because it's going to vary. The lower level of the job, probably the less number of interviews. The higher level of the job, probably more level of interviews. But let's take kind of your mid-level professional and break that down. That, to me, magic number is somewhere around 3. And let me tell you why. First and foremost, you're probably going to have a recruiter phone interview or a recruiter screen, recruiter touch base. This is a benefit for you. This should help you understand, do you even want to consider this job further? Is the salary aligned? Is the in-office expectations? Is the location aligned? So this should be a interview that you are more than okay with because the outcome could very much help you. So let's say you then pass that recruiter phone screen. Then your next step is likely going to be with the hiring manager. And a lot of times before the hiring manager invests more time in bringing people maybe on site or to meet with more folks, they want to have a quick conversation with you. So you can think about this as kind of an extension of that recruiter screen, but from a manager perspective. Do they feel good about you? Do they feel good about your experience? Is what you have to offer what they're looking for? So then that's going to be number 2 interview. And generally, a lot of times I've seen that be over the phone. And then the final one is probably going to be either in person or maybe on, Teams or Zoom with the hiring manager and maybe a peer of theirs, their boss, etc. So that kind of third and final round is really where you may get a lot of those, behavioral based questions, etc. And that is so that the hiring manager, along with whoever else they want to help evaluate, can make a final decision. So I think it's extremely common to have, give or take, around 3 interviews for your kind of average professional position. Feel free to disagree in the comments. Let me know what your experience has been.
About a month ago, I came on here and I asked you guys to tell me my outfit was amazing and that they'd hired me on the spot because I looked so good. Well, I went through 3 rounds of interviews for a customer service cafe job with over 450 applicants. And nearly a month after the interviews, I have heard nothing. It is so incredibly hard to get a job in Los Angeles right now. That is what it is. But I just want to say it's crazy because I met the general manager of the new location and he told me, I love you. It matters how much I like my staff and I really think we'd be a good match, okay? I met the hiring manager who said the general manager loves you and would love to work with you. And so I just knew that I had to come meet you, okay? And then I get pushed to the 3rd round of interviews with the CEO of the company. And the reason I think I didn't get the job is because at the end of my interview, after I had already waited an hour past my interview time to be interviewed by the fucking CEO, he says, yeah, so what are your sales in a day? Which is a very valid question, but as someone who's been in food service and have never ever been asked that question, I genuinely think it was just a vetting question to see how much money he could make out of the people he was hiring. So I didn't get the job, which is fine because I've been substitute teaching, but my boyfriend's sister got me a job. She got me a job because someone wanted her to work there. And she said, nope, I can't, but I know the perfect fucking person. So today, I'm starting like a Color Me Mine vibe. Basically, I'm going to be teaching kids how to paint things. And like, there's tips and painting. So, I don't know. I guess the point is if something doesn't work out, something else might pop up. So wish me luck. I'm very excited. And please, everybody, just pray I can continue to pay my rent. Hallelujah. Huzzah.
Since when is it okay for an interview process to be 8 rounds long? I just had a phone screen with a recruiter, which was not a phone screen. It was an hour-long interrogation with video on. And at the end, she was like, okay, here are next steps. I wrote all of them down and counted. There are 7 more. Let me read them to you. Okay, get a load of this. The next round, round 2, a 45-minute take-home test, followed by round 3, a hiring manager interview. That's pretty standard. Okay, it's checking out so far. So then we go into round 4, a coding challenge. Then round 5 is a panel interview with 3 team members. Round 6 is 2 different case studies. One is about A/B testing and the other one is about funnel optimization. If you weren't counting that as the 3rd round of just at-home individual assignments, we had the take-home test, the coding challenge, and now the case studies. Then you have a second hiring manager interview to go over feedback from earlier interviews and ask any additional questions that popped up. And round 8 is the final round. It's a final interview with the VP and co-founder. And that's not even the best part. The best part is the salary. You would think for 8 rounds, all of that, it would be an outstanding salary. No, it's $55K. She read every single one of those steps to me at the end. She's like, how does that sound? And at that point, there's like a thing of drool coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're done. Okay, you just read an entire essay to me. But the thing is, if given the opportunity, I will be going through every single one of those steps. All
right, boss, we're done interviewing all the top candidates. Who do you want to hire? Yeah, I'm not really sure. Oh, did you want to talk it through some more? No, let's interview them again. What? Why? Did you forget who they were already? Oh, no, I remember them all perfectly. Right, because we have their resumes here and all the notes that we took during the interviews, and also we just literally finished talking to them. Let's bring in like 6 other people to be on the hiring panel this time. Oh, yeah, I guess that could be beneficial, so then we'll just hire whoever those people like the best? No, of course not. No one else knows what this job requires except me. Well, then why do we... No, never mind. So, okay, 1 more round of interviews, then we'll hire the top candidate. No. Not 1 more round of interviews. 3. What? No. Why? Shut up. Presentations. What? We'll make them all do presentations to propose projects that we're never going to do and solve problems we've already solved. I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. Are we going to be paying these people for this time? No. Boss, I've got to ask, why are we making this so complicated? Because this person is going to report to me. And the harder it is to get the job below me, the more important it is. And the more important the job below me is, the more important I feel. And that's all that matters here? Now you've got it.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's continue the video.
I have my 3rd round interview, step 5 of a 6-step process today, and I just really hope it goes well. Now, I really want the job. I think I've been crushing the interviews, which is how I made it to step 5 of 6. But at the same time, it's always like, imagine spending all this time interviewing with a company to get to like the last legs of it and it doesn't work out. I mean, either way, I know that God's got me and eventually I'm going to get a job, but it's still always nerve-wracking. So yeah, I'm meeting with the founder of the company, and that sounds really intimidating, but it is a small business. So it's like I'm meeting with the founder, but it's like I'm meeting with the founder. But at the same time, wish me luck. Okay, wish me luck, because I really want to get a job.
A 4th round interview is the equivalent of a year-long situationship. The words situationship and year should never be used in the same sentence. The words 4th round and interview should never be used in the same sentence. At that point, if you didn't like me, if you don't want me, you're never gonna want me. 3 strikes and you're out. I gave you my best, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I got dressed, I put on deodorant. I do that every day. I'm not saying that's like, a special event. I know I look like shit right now. I just got out of the shower and I didn't even want to blow dry my hair before filming this. My dogs won't stop barking.
Jobs really be having the nerve to give you multiple interviews. I could see 2 interviews, right? You meet with the supervisor, then you meet with the store manager. But my boy just told me he's waiting on his call back from this job that just gave him 4 interviews. Bitch, I got the job. I work here now. What are you talking about? No. I work for you now. Cause you see me 4 fucking times. You see me 4 times. I had to rearrange my schedule, get a babysitter, use my best white voice, gave you the best fabricated movie script of a resume, and I did all this 4 different times and you still don't know? You still don't know. There ain't nothing that you should have to do 4 times before you know if you're sure about it or not. Imagine going on a date with a motherfucker 4 times to be like, you know what, I just don't like her. I don't like her. Imagine being 4 episodes into a show to be like, nah, I don't like it. Imagine going to Disney World 4 times to be like, this ain't for me. Nah, I went to this interview 4 times. Clock me in. Get my badge ready. I'm ready to go to work. I work for you now. Yeah.
These companies are so annoying. Like, 4 interviews is excessive. Anything more than 3 interviews for one job position is literally ridiculous. You really only need like 3 interviews, man. A call, an assessment, and a 1-hour-long job interview. That's basically it. But 4, 5, 7 interviews. You are literally wasting people's time right there. Then after putting them through the ringer, you guys reject them. They waste 2 months, 3 months doing interviews just to be rejected. It's extremely disrespectful. Honestly, it is.
The recruiter asked me, so you haven't had any other role since you've been unemployed? I was low-key offended. Do you feel like that work gap is affecting your chances of landing job interviews? Like you're doing everything and nothing is working? Because that's how I'm starting to feel. Like, I think people forget that once they're laid off, like a lot can happen. Since I've been laid off, I've been applying to jobs. I've been doing everything to try to get jobs, but it hasn't worked out for me. Also, I experienced a loss and I helped take care of one of my family members as they were losing their battle to cancer. And yes, I've used that time to use my recruiter expertise to help people enhance their resumes, networking, graduate applications, job interview practice, everything in between. It's kind of discouraging. Brother, I wish I had a job too. I explained the situation and no sympathy from this person. Maybe they're just trying to keep it professional, but I was like, any human being would be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Nothing. I think the interview started kind of throwing me off, but anyways, everyone has a different kind of tone, different kind of way of doing their job. I know you have a job to do, but like have a little bit of empathy and sympathy, especially when someone's opening up about their personal lives and kind of giving a non-traditional explanation as to why like the work gap is so big. If you have a job right now, please hold on to it until you find another job.
If there's something that everybody should know is that when you go to an interview, you need to go in there like you're not going to bag the job. There was this one time I went into an interview and the guy had put me through 2 rounds of an interview. The first interview was a virtual and the other one he wanted me to go in person. The guy that interviewed me, he really seemed interested in me. Honestly, a little too interested. I was a little weirded out. He said that I fit all the qualifications. He said that I was the perfect fit and that he was excited to see me when we were going to have the in-person interview. I get to the in-person interview. I talked to the 2 people that are interviewing. It was him and then it was the other person. I think she was the manager. The interview went for about 15 to 20 minutes. It was probably the longest interview I've ever had. We were laughing, we were talking, we were having a grand old time. Everything was great. And they were just like, oh yeah, we'll keep you posted. I never heard back from them. For every interview that you do, just do your best, but don't come out of there thinking that you're going to get a job and that you bagged it. Make sure that they send you that official acceptance letter saying that you bagged it.
Another corporate red flag for you guys. Interviewing. If there's like 5+ rounds and it takes 2+ months just to like get these all scheduled, massive red flag. I wouldn't do it, but if you need the job, obviously suck it up and do it, I guess.
I hate having 3 to 4 interviews just for one job. I understand that having multiple interviews can seem annoying, but I want to offer a different perspective for you to help you through this process, because a lot of companies that offer good salaries, good benefits, things that you actually want in your job, those do require multiple interviews and you have to be okay with that. Personally, I love when companies make you go through multiple interviews, at least 2 of them, because it means that they're actually like vetting through the people that they want to hire. They're not just gonna hire a bunch of bozos. You're not gonna have to take on the work of your coworkers because they're actually hiring qualified, good people to work there. So you don't have to worry about a lot of the common work stresses of employers who just kind of hire everybody just to meet a hiring quota. Another reason why you should love having multiple interviews is because interviews are a 2-way street. So as much as they are getting to know you and deciding if they want to work with you, you should be getting to know them and the company during the interview and deciding if you even want to work there. Another reason I love having multiple interviews for one position is because you get to know the leadership. And that's really important, especially for people who don't like to be told what to do. So the fact that you're having multiple interviews means that you're going to meet with multiple people in leadership, multiple people who are in senior level roles most likely. So you can get to know the company through those people and how they operate. You'll get to know those managers' core values, what they stand for. How will you get to know these things? Because you're going to uncover them by asking them during the interview. Oh my God, I could literally talk about this topic alone for hours. So you guys should really head over to the top of my page, check out my training, and let's get you hired.
I just had my second round interview for a job, and again, I have no idea how to gauge how well these things go. The interviewer, thankfully, she was so nice, so personable, but she said that her manager, so like the real guy, in her words, he's going to contact me at like in like 5 hours, and I asked, oh, is that like another interview? She said it was for feedback, which I don't know what that means, but anyways, I think it went well.
When is the hiring process have more than 5 rounds of interview? So I recently got a job interview in a company, and there are 6 rounds of interview. First round is which HR, very normal, very standard, 30-minute phone call. And the second round is an hour of technical skill. Because I'm data analyst, so it took an hour to test me if my technical skills is enough, like SQL, Python, blah, blah, all those stuff. And the third round is a take-home assignment, which the company claimed that only took about an hour to finish it and took me 8 hours to complete it. The take-home assignment asked me to complete a small project from beginning to end. And I have to create a PowerPoint, which is a preparation for my next round of interview. And the fourth round is a 2-hour interview, just to present the PowerPoint that I create from the third round take-home assignment. After fourth round, I thought it would be end. It's not. Fifth round is like a 4-hour-long interview. We have a behavior questions, we have a technical questions about SQL and Python again. The more behavior questions, basically 4-hour-long interview. And after the fifth round, I was like, that's it. That has to be the last round of interview. And it's not. There is the sixth and the last round. So apparently, during the interview, 2 of them are actually on vacation. And after the 5 interviews, they are back. So they want to conduct another interview with me. And I have to start over. Like I have to tell them about the PowerPoint presentation and go do a technical skill test again. The behavior questions, blah, 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 all the things. Another 3-hour-long interview. And you know what? After the final round of interview, I'm actually really happy. Because I thought I already got a job. I thought they want me. Otherwise, why you want to do 6 rounds of interview with me? But I did not get a job. Then sent me the rejection letter the day after my 6 rounds of interview. And honestly, I feel nothing but being used. I don't know why company do that. Then conduct really long interview with you and then reject you immediately. Like, wouldn't it be waste of time? And the job I interview is not like a manager level. It's a very mid-level independent contractor. An experience like that is just draining your life. Gotta go. Bye. Thank you for watching.
So there's been a lot of people who have asked about what happened with the 8-round interview process, and I haven't provided an answer because frankly I haven't been able to. But I just spoke with the recruiter who finally gave me an answer. And the reason that I haven't been provided a response from the company is because there's kind of been a hold in the process. And the reason there's a hold is because it turns out that there's an internal candidate from another office overseas that is trying to move over and fill that role. So while I haven't technically been denied for this role that I invested so much time into, it's not looking good, purely because there's an internal candidate from another country who wants to fill that role. They're favoring that, as companies usually do. They'll prefer to hire an internal candidate and hire one externally. So yeah, it's not a no yet, but it's not looking good.
This right here, I don't understand why companies don't see how much money it's costing them by having an interview process go about 4 months. If you calculate it, considering it maybe a mid to senior level type of role, 4-month hiring process could easily cost anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000. We can kind of break this down. We're looking at direct and indirect costs. So think of salary. So the salary for the recruiter that's working on the role, whether it's an internal or external, there could be fees then associated with an external recruiter. We're looking at the salary of the hiring manager and how much time they are spending to interview. Let's say they're spending about 10 hours a month interviewing. They're earning $120,000 a year. That is $5,000 per month just interviewing for this one role that's taking 4 months to do. We also have to look at productivity losses. Obviously, if they're interviewing, that means they're not doing the other functions of their job. And for some, it could even be candidate expenses. Some companies are still flying folks out or job posting, which does cost money. It isn't free to post on LinkedIn and Indeed, and some of them are scraped, however, from their website. But if you are looking for a specific candidate, you're going to post on a job board, which means you are going to pay money for it. I don't understand how these processes can be so poorly run. I've seen it myself. I've been a recruiter. I understand the delays and the roadblocks and the red flags, but there has been constant conversation of how to solve this problem, at least within the companies that I've worked for. However, I feel like it's just kind of getting worse. Like they're just spending the time and making themselves look busy. And maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why we're seeing all of these organizations due to return to office and doing all these cuts and, reorgs and all of those things, because management is the problem. Management is the issue. What I mean by that is if management wants to continue to look busy and continue to look important, they're going to say that they're going to need individuals and they're going to try to show proof as to why they need to hire more people, but they're going to drag out the process. They're going to make it move very, very slow because at the end of the day, they actually really don't need anybody else to add to the team. They just want to look like they're so super busy and so super important that maybe their team or obviously themselves will not get impacted with any reorgs. But as we know, as we've seen all of these organizations overhire, this actually does not work. Things are going to come to light and you're going to see people kind of twiddling their thumbs and not working, for a salary that's $100,000, $120,000, $140,000, and then layoffs are obviously going to occur. So no, a interview process should never take that long. Silver lining, it looks like you may have dodged a pretty shady organization.
Something I would love to see in 2023 is companies to scale back on the amount of rounds it takes to land a job. Let's normalize 2-round interview processes before you get a job offer. One of the first questions that I ask recruiters when I'm in first rounds with a new company is, what does the interview process look like? If they tell me it's a compilation of meeting with 10 different people and it's 7 different rounds, there's a high likelihood I'm not going to move forward. Or if I'm on the fence about it, usually I drop out when they have me do an assignment or a presentation. I have all the time in the world now that I'm laid off to be looking for jobs, but I think it's the principle of the matter. You're not running your business very efficiently if you're having your employees spend half their days in interviews. Can we agree just to do better?
Why do jobs decide to have multiple rounds of interviews? Just give me the job, bro. Like, yesterday, I had a phone interview with one lady. Today, I had a Zoom interview with another lady. And then I have to do a panel interview in a couple days. Please, I will literally puke on my computer. A panel? Like, hire me or not. Like, me and the lady today were vibing. We were just talking about life. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to pass your information on. Just hire me. We talked about salary. We talked about all this good jazz. We talked about training. Why do I have to do another interview? 3 interviews for one job? Guys, come on. At some point, we just have to be for real. Like, come on. And then it's like, you're going to be my supervisor, so you can make the decision right here, right now. You don't have to pass anything along. You can just say, yeah, I'm going to hire her. 3 interviews?
I was just at the nail salon getting my nails done for my bachelorette this weekend. I couldn't help but overhear the conversation to my right. This woman went through 8 rounds of interviews. 8 rounds of interviews. Granted, it was for a C-level position, but like 8 rounds of interviews, that's just excessive. Now, in my professional opinion, interviews that go more than 3 rounds is so extra. But that poor woman went through 8 rounds. I wasn't fully paying attention, but I thought I heard her say she had to do some financial reporting, full-on presentation, and some sort of project. From the sound of it, seems like she didn't get the job. And honestly, if you didn't want me after the 4th round, I should have just stopped right then and there. But honestly, to have gone through that many rounds, to have invested in so much time and effort and energy, to not have it result in a job is absolutely heartbreaking, discouraging, demoralizing. Like, seriously, it should not take employers 8 rounds to figure out if they want to hire someone or not. As an HR professional, I know I want to hire someone within probably 2 rounds of interviews. So the fact that companies are getting to 8 rounds of interviews is just beyond me. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether you're an HR professional, a recruiter, a candidate, what are your thoughts on more than 4 rounds of interviews? Leave it in the comments. Let's chat about it.
If you've made it to a 3rd round interview, congratulations. That means you are seriously being considered. At this stage, they already know you can do the job. Now they're just looking to see if you're the right fit. One thing you can do to nail your third round interview is ask deep, strategic questions that show you're thinking long term. Instead of just asking about day-to-day tasks, try these. What are the biggest challenges facing this team right now, and how can I help solve them in my first 90 days? What qualities have made past hires in this role successful long term? And where do you see the company in the next 2 to 3 years, and how does this role contribute to that vision? These show that you're not just looking for any job. You're invested in this job and its future. Asking high-level questions like this helps you stand out as a strategic thinker. Save this for later and send to anyone you know prepping for interviews. Good luck!
What's one thing about the job market that people don't seem to be mad about enough? Mine is multiple rounds of interviews for one job. I remember back in the old days, and I can't even believe I have to say that, like, you only needed one, maybe rare moment of 2 rounds of interviews for one job. Now you have 7 rounds of interviews, an assessment, a presentation, a written test, an oral test. Imagine you apply for a job, the recruiter calls you and be like, hey, I went through your resume, it looks really good, I'm gonna pass you on to the hiring manager. Boom, they pass you on to the hiring manager, you have an interview with them, they're like, oh cool, you're really nice, I'm gonna pass you on to a few members of my team. You're like, okay. So you go to a few members of the team and they're like, oh, we would like for you to do a group interview with multiple candidates and multiple members of our team. What the hell? And they be asking you to do like specific project, like, oh, put together this Excel sheet of ways we can improve our company. No. Let's bring back 1 round interviews. I got the job or not? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I gotta put on this fake smile every time and I walk in an interview just to get rejected every single time, bro! Every single time. You can see my voice is healed, right? You can see it's healed. I'm back at it. I got an interview on Monday. 6th round out of 7. Let's fucking go. This is fucking unreal. Unreal what I've been through. Y'all know what kind of journey I've been through. I've been through the journey right here. I've been through the journey of 7 rounds. 7 different people. Same questions, almost. This is how it is. This is what it's like. I'm through it right now. I'm going through it. I'm literally going through it. If I don't get this job, I might as well be homeless, bro. Literally.
Someone said that they went on 7 rounds of interviews and they haven't heard back about a decision yet. Friend, they don't know what they want, and I want you to keep that in mind. Okay, if you're going on over 3 interviews, they usually have no idea what they're looking for. They're being picky and selective because it's an employer's market right now, and they're wasting your time. I would say to always have other prospects in the works until you are starting your first day, and even after you start your first day. You always want to see what's out there. Okay, this is a complete disaster with what I'm seeing in the job market. 7 interviews is insane without any kind of monetary reimbursement. It just doesn't make sense. Sorry, friend.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.